Today in this video, I'm going to show you how to combine ChatGPT's API with Python to make an app that helps you study. So the basic way this app is going to work, you're going to make your flashcards, right? And then it's going to ask you a flashcard question, and then you can enter an answer. It will compare whether the answer you typed in is semantically the same as the answer typed in on the flashcard, if that makes sense. But yeah, let's get right into it, I guess. So with this tutorial, I will link a slideshow that I made that sort of has more detailed steps. If you want to follow along with the tutorial, that's up to you. So why should you use this system of flashcards? Well, first of all, it saves time. It helps you retain information better. It's more engaging and dynamic than regular flashcards. It's very easy to edit and add flashcards, this is how the idea really came to me. So I recently had a class in uni where there was a lot of memorization involved. I was trying to study using flashcards, but I went on a bunch of websites and a lot of them had some sort of payment gateway. And I figured, you know what, why not just make my own flashcard system? And I've been using it a lot recently, and I find that it really helps. So it's very easy to edit and add flashcards as well. And you take advantage of ChatGPT to study. You don't just have to use it to cheat on tests and stuff. So for this tutorial, I'll be using Visual Studio Code as an IDE and Python as the programming language. If you have a basic understanding of Python, it helps. But this tutorial is for anyone really. So I'm going to start off by making a main.py file as so. First, we need to get the library. So import OpenAI, import OS, and from random, import randint. So these are the libraries that we need. So OS and random are already installed. OpenAI, you need to install it by doing such. So we just open up a terminal, pip install OpenAI, or pym pip install OpenAI. If that doesn't work. And as you can see, I've already installed it. So before you start, you're going to need your API key, which is used to access the results that you get from the ChatGPT API. You just go on their website, you do some stuff, and you get the key. I'll have some screenshot on the screen. Basically, you go on the website and you go through the process of getting your API key, but it's pretty simple. So first, we're going to set our environment variable. If you don't know what an environment variable is, it's basically a variable that is stored on your computer that stores a variable. It could be a number, it could be a string, whatever it is. So pretty much it's just a good habit to get into, because something like an API key you shouldn't share with anyone, so it should be kept private. I already have my API key set. I already have it set on my computer, so I'm good basically. But it's just a good habit to get into, because let's say you publish your code on GitHub and then, it has your API key in it, right? You could just do this by accident, right? So it's good to get into the habit. So in case you do share your code with someone, you can share it that way and it still works on your computer, if that makes sense.
So here's what you do if you want to set an environment variable. Go into your search tab, type in system environment. So you'll see it's this one. Click it. You'll be in this advanced tab, click environment variables, and you get this tab. You press on new, enter your variable name. I think in the example it's OpenAI API key, and then you paste your variable name, whatever it's going to be, or variable value, I mean. You press OK. I don't need this one. I'll press cancel, and then when you press OK, it will be stored on your computer.
So first, we're going to write our getText method, which is used for the ChatGPT API. You enter in a prompt and you get a result from it. So it's going to return the result we get from calling ChatGPT and asking it a question, right? So we have def getText prompt request, which is going to be our question. Something. Have very creative variables here. OpenAI completion.create completion.create. Enter. The model we'll be using is text DaVinci level 3. Next variable prompt request So this chunk of text that we're writing right now is available on the ChatGPT documentation. Temperature 08. So this is the code that we use. So when we're calling to the ChatGPT API, we have our prompt, we have max token. Temperature is just a randomness variable. The lower the temperature variable, the more random your answer is going to be. So it goes from 0 to 1. I just put it at 0.08, but it seems to work good enough. Then we have new text, something, choices. This doesn't mean anything. So new text is just a better formatted version of the response that we get. And then we return new text. Great. So we have the method we use for, and guys, this is basically it. This is all you really need to make calls to the ChatGPT API. Like, if this is all that you need, this is all that you need. We can even try it right now. So get text. What is the best color for a YouTube thumbnail? I don't know. So we're asking this to ChatGPT, and then we'll print it. So watch this. The best color for YouTube. So we got our response back, basically, right? We're gonna need to format this empty space, but we'll do that later. For now, we're good, right? So delete this and continue on. Next, we're gonna have to actually read our text file, like I mentioned, that stores the flashcards. We could just make one right now, right? So flashcards.text. Then we're gonna write some things down, like what is the, I don't know, what's a good flashcard? What is, I guess this is the example I used earlier. What is 9 divided by 3? Right, so it'll give us the answer 3. For the records, we leave that space empty, right? Then we do, what does the Earth revolve around? I think it's the sun. Who cares? This doesn't matter. This is just an example, right? Again, the way we'll use this, the way this flashcard system works, it doesn't, the question and the answer doesn't really matter. It just compares what you write to the flashcard answer. The question itself doesn't matter. It just compares the answer, right? But anyways, let's add another one. I don't know. What is considered the powerhouse of the cell? Everyone knows that is the mitochondria. Basic examples, who cares? So to read this text file, we do file equals open flashcards.text. Then we do R. And then we have the second variable R, which stands for reading. File.read. Split lines. Split lines are just used for formatting purposes. File.close. Boom. So text is now storing the read file. So when you open a file, it's a good habit once you're done reading it to just close it like this. Next. So let's write the method to get the list of strings for questions, answers, and records. So you'll see right now, get lines, start, list equals empty. So this is our list variable. While start, len text. This all makes sense in a sec, guys. Then we do list.append, text, start plus 4. Return list, and boom. So we get back the list. All right, so now we're actually going to call this method, and it'll make sense. So we have question list equals get lines 0. Then we have our answer list get lines 1. Record list get lines 2. Get lines 2. Okay, so it calls the method. It has the position that we want to read from. So if you put 0, right, it's basically going to go like, okay, it's going to read this line first, then it's going to go 4 lines down. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to read this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's going to keep reading these lines until it gets to the end, right? And all of these will be put into a list. Same thing if we, same thing for this, right? Get lines 1, it starts at 1, so that means, okay, so this is 0, this is 1, 1, 1, 1. It stores these, and then the records will keep empty for now. So if we were to print it right now, like let's say print question list, let's see. Oh yeah, we need to save for the text files to save. So save all, boom. As you can see, it is storing the questions into a list. Great. Now, how many attempts do we want to save? So if I do 10 attempts at a flashcard, it's only going to store the last 5 that I did, right? The maximum amount of attempts that it scores, so either like, so it only stores the last 5 attempts on a flashcard. Record attempts equals 5. Now we're going to make our main loop. So it's going to be while through, and this is going to repeat until the loop is broken / stopped. So position, let's get question. We're going to make this method and set question equals question underscore list position. Then answer equals answer list position. So all of these lists are all correlated to each other. So if you were to do like question 1 or question list 1, the answer equivalent to that would be answer list 1, right? Makes sense. Same thing for the record list. These are all correlated. So if you want one flashcard, all of these has to be the same thing, right? 2, 2, 2. So how do we get the actual position of the flashcard that we want? Well, so let's just do it here. Def get question success rate list. Success rate list. Attempts total. Empty. Now we're gonna do our for loop. For I in range length. Record list. Jesus, what? Did I just import something? Oh, we're good. Jesus Christ. Attempts equals list. Record list. So record list dot I. If length attempts not equal to 0, we do a bunch of this stuff. Attempts total dot append length attempts yes count. So this is going to be the amount of correct attempts. No count. Attempts count. So it's counting the amount of yes and no's. Success rate list. Actually, success rate yes count divided by yes count plus no count. Stick with me, guys. I'll explain all this in a sec. Success rate and then success rate list dot append success rate. Then we do else return I. If attempts total 5 length attempts total if success rate list dot count 1 equals length success rate list return randint 0 length success rate list. I mean, as you can tell, I'm looking at my other monitor just to type all this out, but I'm going to explain all this in a sec. Success rate list. This one. Else. Per list equals success rate list. Boom. Else. Per list equals attempts. Total. Lowest score equals min per list. Jesus Christ. Position equals per list. Index lowest score. Return position. So what did we all just type out right here? So we have our success rate list and we have the total attempts that we've made, right? So basically what all of this means, you don't have to like overanalyze it. Basically what it means is so it runs through each flashcard records, right? Because that's how you know which flashcard you want to practice next, right? The way it values importance of what to practice next is how many attempts are there, right? Whatever flashcard has the lowest attempt is going to be chosen first. So it's like actually the 5 here is supposed to be record attempts, but I just forgot to add it. So whatever flashcard has the lowest current attempts is going to be chosen up. And if all the flashcards have the maximum amount of attempts, which in this example it's 5, so if all flashcards have been practiced at least 5 times, then it's going to choose whichever one has the worst success rate. So as you can see, we count the Y's and the N's that are going to be there. So the record, when we practice them enough, it's going to look like Y and N, Y, Y. Something like this, right? And same thing for these ones, right? So it's going to see, okay, I'll change them a bit. Like, so as you can see, this one has 3 out of 5 yeses. This one has 4 out of 5. This one has 5 out of 5. So based off these record attempts, it's going to choose this one because it has the lowest success rate, and it's going to practice that one. So this is pretty much like the worst thing to write in this tutorial, but it's worth it. If you're new to Python, I really recommend to look at this thing and just to understand like what everything means, right? Knowing what I've explained and how it should work. Next, we're going to continue our true loop. So we're going to add user. So we're going to get the user input now. So input question if user input equals quit, then we're going to break the loop. So if we enter quit into the console, it's going to stop the program from running. So let's try it out. So what is 9 divided by 9? If I write quit, it just stops. It doesn't even bother checking whether I got it correct or not. Next, we have status equals compare answers, question, answer, user input. Now we're going to make this next method. So compare answers, def compare answers. We're going to have our question, answer, and user input. I'm not going to write all of this down. I'm just going to copy paste it real quick. So I'm just going to copy paste this real quick, and there we go. Do a bit of word wrap. Okay, so this is what we're asking ChatGPT. Here's a question. Our question. The correct answer to this question is the answer on the flashcard. A student answered user input. Is the student's answer equivalent to the other answer? In other words, did the student get the correct answer? Respond with one character, either Y meaning yes or N meaning no. So if we wrote down the equivalent answer on our flashcard, then ChatGPT is going to return Y. So if it's not equivalent, then it's going to return N, meaning no. So get our response. Strip is just for formatting reasons. It's going to remove the empty space, and then we return it, right? So we are calling upon it with this info, and we are getting a response back, which is going to be our status, right? It's going to be, so status is going to be either Y or N. If status equals Y, we're going to print that we got it correct, right? We want to know that we got our flashcard correct. Otherwise, we're going to print status plus the correct answer was answer. So it makes sense. We want to know what the correct answer is in case we get it wrong. We're going to update the record for that flashcard. So we're going to do record equals list, record list, position, record dot append, adding it to the end of the list, status, while len record less than record attempts, which is fine in this case, record pop 0, record equals space join record list dot brackets position record text brackets curly brackets position multiplied by 4 plus 2 record. So now our main loop is done. What do we have here? So we take the record list for the flashcard that we just answered, right? So y and n, y, whatever, right? We convert that string to a list. So each character is going to be an element of a list. Next, we add to the end of the list what we currently answered. So either y or no. So if we got the answer correct, we add y to the end. So we add it to the end of the list. Next, we are going to do this while loop, which is going to remove the surplus of attempts if it's more than the record attempts, right? So if I have 0 attempts and then I answer a question, now I have 1 attempt, right? It's not going to run through this. But if I have 5 attempts, I answer something, now I have 6 attempts, we're going to need to remove the element that is the oldest, which is going to be the first element in this case. So we're going to remove the first element of the list. Each time we're going to remove it until it's equal to the record attempts, which is 5 in this case. Next, this is just for formatting reasons to get rid of empty space. Then we update the record list with our new record. Then we have our text variable where we then we overwrite the previous record we have with the new record in the entire text variable that we got earlier on. Now our final piece of text here, file.open. We're going to update the text file to overwrite it. Because once we've exited, once this true loft stops working, which means we've entered quit, right? We don't want to answer any questions anymore. We go onto here, right? So we're going to actually overwrite our old text file with this new one. Text equals map. There's just formatting, lambda, x plus this code right here. Text. File.write lines, text, file.close. So what are we doing here? We're overwriting our old text file with our new text file, right? So the questions and answers in the text file don't change. All we really change here is our record, which means our attempts, right? So as you can see, we update the attempts here. We basically want to save our attempts so that when we open this program again, so if we close it, we open it again, we have saved our attempts from last time, right? So this is it. It closes, and there we go. Let's test it out, yeah? Let's do this, yeah? So let's try this example, right? Let's run. What is 3 divided by 3? So I'm going to put 3. I'm going to write 3 in letters, right? Because in our flashcards, the answer is just the number 3, and now I'm going to write in letters. So it's not... So the syntax isn't equivalent, but it's semantically equivalent, meaning it has the same meaning, right? So here we go. We get y. So ChatGPT compared. This is the same as 3. So 3 spelled in letters is the same as the number itself. What does the Earth revolve around? Let's put an incorrect answer here. Let's put Mars. So no, the correct answer was Sun. So our program actually works. So if we go quit, let's check our flashcards file. So as you can see, it has updated them. Now let's see what happens if the attempts is full, right? So you put y, 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 and y, 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 and y, and y. Something like this, right? And let's save all, boom. What is considered the powerhouse of the cell? Mitochondria. Yes. Mitochondria. Yes. So as you can see, since we got it incorrect so many times, we keep on keeps on asking us until we for sure know that it's the powerhouse of the cell. What does the Earth revolve around? Sun, mitochondria, sun. What is 3 divided by 3? Or what is 9 divided by 3? 3. All right, so we've done it a couple times. Quit. As you can see, it works perfectly. So this is the flashcard system that I use, and I really recommend others to use. It really helps me when I'm studying. This is better than just using flashcards because flashcard, it's just memorization. You just remember the letters and the words. Does that make sense? I feel like I memorize it better when I actually type it in, right? Rather than just like thinking in my head, oh, it's like sun, right? This helps me out. I really recommend it. Anyways, guys, that about does it for this tutorial. I hope it helped, whether you're a beginner. You know, you can modify this in other ways for whatever purposes, right? I'll have a link to the full code in the description in case you want to check it out. And yeah, that about does it. So ChatGPT flashcard tutorial. If you liked it, please leave a like, whatever. Take care. Peace out.